Welcome back. Today we're going to see how to implement the det logic for our AI. So we're going to create a custom event and I'm going to call this det or dead, doesn't really matter. And I'm going to do a sequence, plug the sequence to it. So the first thing we want to do in our sequence, we want to play the animation dead, right? So we're going to drag from that and we're going to play an animation. I'm going to take the one from the mesh and we're going to select our dead animation as the enemy used the same character as us. So we're going to make sure that we take det from UI5. So we're all good with that. And when the enemy die, we want to disable the movement of the enemy, otherwise it's going to be dead and still chasing us in the level, so it's not what we want. So we're going to disable the movement for the character, so the AI won't be able to move anymore. It's not like us. Remember us, we did a disable input, but the character doesn't have input for the enemy, it's just movement, so we can just disable the movement. And we want to disable the collision, so we're going to take the mesh and the capsule collision and we're going to set our collision enable and we'll just make sure that there's no collision. I'm going to plug the mesh as well, plug it right there, put that on the top, and we're all set for that. So we're going to go back here to the den 1 and we're going to do the rest of the logic here. So you can put everything one after the other. I just prefer like this. So we're going to do a delay and we're going to wait 5 seconds. So the enemy is going to be dead on the ground for 5 seconds before getting destroyed. So we're going to search for destroy actor. And from that, actually this needs to be plugged in too, like this. And from the one here, well, we're going to play a sound. So play sound at location. And we're going to get the actor location. So get actor actor location. And we need a sound for it. So the sound will be, do we have it? We're gonna have to put a sound for monster det. So you can find any sound that you want here. So for me, just for now, I'm just gonna leave it blank, not blank, but I'm gonna put maybe just the first one here. There you go. I'm gonna just take that for now, just to show that the sound is working. And we're all good for that. So we're gonna compile, and we can select all of that, do a comment box, and we're gonna call that the det logic for the enemy. And we're just gonna change the color to a little red. So now the enemy need to be able to receive damage, right? So we're gonna zoom in there and I'm gonna search for even any damage. From that, we're gonna all be on the keyboard to do a branch. Same as last time. The damage causer, so who's gonna do the damage to our enemy? Well, we're gonna search for actor has tag, and the tag for that, it's gonna be our bullet when we shoot. So we're just gonna put bullet for now, and we're gonna put that to the condition. So we're gonna add the tag for our bullet. So we go to the content browser, we're gonna go to our player projectile, and we have our bullet impact, which is gonna open this. And under the class default, we're gonna search for tag, and we're gonna get a tag here, and we're gonna call that bullet. And I'm gonna compile that and save that, and we're good for that, so we can close it. And I'm gonna go back to our enemy. And in enemy here, we have to create one variable, I mean, the alt variable. So we're gonna create alt. It's gonna be a float. So from true here, we're gonna set our alt, and from here we're gonna drag and search for subtraction, and we're gonna take our alt once again. So we're gonna subtract our alt from the damage that we received. So we're gonna plug it right here, and from here on alt, we're gonna search for less or equal. We're gonna do another branch. The condition will go in the branch. We're gonna connect the branch to our set alt. And if this is all true, well, we're gonna call the function dead. So we're gonna click all that, select all of that, and we're gonna call that basically receive damage subtract alt when 0 is reached, call dead. So, and I'm gonna put that in a little green here. So what it's doing, so when the enemy is gonna get any damage which is only from the actor bullet, it's gonna go there, remove the X amount of damage that the bullet gonna tell us what to do. If we put 20 for an example, it's gonna send 20 here, and it's gonna remove that from the alt of our enemy. When it's reached below 0 or 0, it's gonna make that to true, and it's gonna call our death logic right here. So we're gonna compile that, so all that is good for us. So we need a way now to do damage to our enemy, because if we go there, let's see if it's work. It's not gonna work. We can shoot at it, but it's not gonna do absolutely anything, because in our bullet we didn't set up anything. So to do that, we're gonna have to go to our bullet. So let's open that and do a lot of modification here. There's a lot to change. So let's try to do that now. So this, it's good. So we're gonna leave that there. So we're just gonna move it like this. And from that, we're gonna cast to our character, which is my UE5 BP. So the object of this will be obviously get player character, and we're going to promote this to a variable like this. So we're good with that. So we're just going to select all of that, and I'm just going to do C on the keyboard. I'm going to call that event begin play, and I'm going to change the color to a little blue, optional, but I like it that way. And now here there's a lot, but I mean a lot to modify, because that's the old way to do damage, and we need to put the new way plus the damage. So there's a lot to do in this. Let's see how long I have in the video now. I'm doing the video for 8 minutes, so that's good. I think we're good to continue with that. So we're gonna take our even damage here, or even it. We're just gonna drag it around here, and so we have our even it, but it's need to be way more than that. So it's not exactly the one that we need. So we're just gonna remove that and see for the other one. Well, actually, let me see something here. Oh, that makes sense, I think. Yeah, there's something that doesn't work here. Yeah. We can still work with it and just change it a little bit later on. But for now, I think it's gonna work. So we're gonna drag here from here, and we're gonna set our collision enable. from our collision component. So we're just going to take our collision component here, just drag it right here, and we're going to set collision enable, and I'm going to plug it right here. So from that, we're going to put no collision. We're going to do a sequence. I'm going to plug the sequence to it like this. And we're good with that. So we're going to go here. So this will stay close to the same because this is just our physic when it's touching an object. So from then 0, we're going to drag to this branch here. And this should be connected to our other component. So I'm going to drag this and just plug it right here. Perfect. So now we're just going to double check all of that. So I'm just doing a little comment here, and this affect the impact on object with physic on. So we're just going to put this, so affect the impact on object with physic on. Here we go. So can remember what it's doing for us, so that's great. And we're going to promote this to a variable, and we're just going to rename it impact multiplier, if I know how to spell multiplier. And I'm going to just compile. So now it's a 0.5, but you can change that the way you want. It's no big deal. I'm going to go and see if everything else is still good. So that sounds good here. We have our sound, we spawn our emitter, which is great. And after that, we want to make sure that we destroy our actor. So we have that, but we won't need that because it's going to do some error down the road. So we're just going to remove it. Here we go. So I think we have to change the lifespan. Let's see. So yeah, exactly. So we're going to search for lifespan instead of 3 seconds here. We're just going to go at 0.1. There we go. So it's going to auto destroy itself after 0.1 seconds instead of us destroying the actor. So we're all good with that. That's great. So now we have to do the damage logic. So we're going to drag from the sequence here all the way down here, and we're going to search for branch. Let's search for that. Oh my god, I don't know how to spell as usual. I'm getting used to it. So from that, we're going to search actor as tag. So let's search for that, and the tag will be enemy. So we have to set up the enemy tag. We're going to go in enemy base class. We're going to go in default class. I'm going to search for tag, and we're going to add enemy. We're going to compile that and go back to our bullet impact. So from that, we're going to search for another branch. So let's create another branch, plug it right there. And from that, we're going to need to implement other things in our character blueprint. So we're going to have to come back here later, but we're just going to continue the code and return to modify it later. We're going to drag from that, apply damage, and the apply damage will be I'm going to drag from that. I'm going to search for multiplier, and from the top here we want to do a random damage for range, so random float in range. I'm going to promote this to a variable, and it's going to be the minimum damage. I'm gonna promote max. It's gonna be max damage. I'm gonna compile that. So the minimum damage that our bullet is gonna do for us, you put the number that you want. But for me, I believe I'm gonna put 10. So we're gonna put 10 here. And the max damage, I'm gonna put 20. So this is good. And the multiplier, so we're gonna promote this to a variable, and I'm gonna call that headshot multiplier. There you go. And I'm gonna compile that. So the headshot multiplier, if you want to make sure that you kill your enemy in no time, just put 100. So it's gonna multiply the damage input here by 100 times. So you should be good to do a headshot. So this is good. So we're gonna keep moving down here. So we're gonna play a sound. So play a sound 2D. You can put location. I just want to 2D because when you do a headshot, it's great to, no matter where you are, to hear the sound. So I'm just gonna leave it as is. Make sure that you can implement a headshot sound. I do not have one here, but there's fewer websites that give some sound. So I do have some already there, so I can probably just put it in the description of this video, so you guys can just add that to your project and put it there. So I'm gonna leave that blank for now. So we're gonna continue, and from that we're gonna spawn an emitter at location. So at location, we're gonna take this one here, and the location will be the get actor location. There we go. So now we're gonna go back here, and from false here. So if we don't shoot the head, it's gonna be normal damage. So we're gonna drag from that. We're gonna apply damage, and the damage will go directly there. So it's gonna bypass the multiplier for the headshot and just go do for the normal damage, which is 10 and 20. So from that we're gonna move, and same thing, we're gonna do a sound. So basically we could just take those two here, copy, Control C and Control V, just plug it right there. And the emitter, well, we have to change the emitter for the impactful blood, so I'm gonna show you how it's done pretty quick, but first we're just gonna connect this right there. Perfect. So if you want to put blood here, there's a little trick here. So we can go to the, where it is, I believe it's in the military weapon pack here. Go to the FX, and it's gonna be the stone here. So that's the small, the medium, and the large. Let's take the large. So we're just gonna duplicate this. So it goes to a duplication, and I'm gonna call that P impact blood, and I'm just gonna move it to my UE5. So I'm just gonna move it right here, move there. So I got it right here. So I'm gonna open it, and here we just have basically to change the color. So just gonna refer to my notes, just make sure that I give you the good information quicker. So let's see here for the color. Okay, so we're gonna go to the smoke here. We're gonna go to color, and we're gonna color here and distribution. So the constant here, we're gonna put that to red. So you can see it's already changing to red for us, so it's good with that. And we want to change this one as well. So we have this one, and we need to change the little rock. So we have rock here. We're gonna search for color, and same thing, we're gonna put red. There we go, and the rock mesh here, make sure that we put red as well. There we go, now we have all red. So I know it's a smoke rock animation, but now when you change the color, look like blood a little bit. It's not perfect, but hey, it's working. So we're gonna save that, and now we can take it. So we're gonna search for blood. There we go, we have blood impact and blood impact. So we have two big blood impact here. So if you want a smaller one, we're just gonna return to the FX air, and instead of large, I'm gonna take medium. I'm just gonna duplicate that, and I'm gonna call it blood, and I'm gonna go medium, and I'm just gonna move it to my UE5. Move right there. Now I have it here. So I'm just gonna modify this as well. So I'm just gonna change the color to red. And right here, I'm gonna save that. Now I have two. So instead of having a big one, now I'm just gonna take the medium one when I shoot the enemy anywhere else. Perfect. So well, it's not done yet because there's a lot more to do to it, because we have to implement our trace line to our character before being able to try to do damage to the AI. So I'm just gonna select this for now. I'm gonna do a comment, and I'm gonna call that damage logic. Here we go. Perfect. So in the next one, we're going to implement the line trace, so we can continue this code here and being able basically to connect that to our character. So with socket and bones, we'll be able to target the head and do our damage. I'll catch you on the next one.